Okay, good morning, everyone. We are very excited for today's webinar. We have an exciting topic that we've realized many realtors have and business owners are very confused about, and it's about cyber insurance. I've talked to many people and they think that just by having a cyber insurance that that's all they need and they don't really need to focus on cyber security because their policy is going to take care of them. And that couldn't be further from the truth. So today's class, it's not a tech class. It's about protecting your license, your business, and your clients' life savings from the fastest growing legal threat in real estate, you know? So this area can cost thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars if not properly taken care of. And because of that, we have Cork, which is a cyber warranty company, and Francis, he's going to be on the call joining us and sharing us some insight, very valuable insight for us. So, but moving forward, while we continue to move forward, a little bit about myself. If you guys haven't watched the other webinars, they're on our YouTube channel. Please go check them out. Follow us because we're constantly putting out valuable content, and it's free. So knowledge is power. So I built Mostro to make sure businesses don't get blindsided by digital threats. We work with enterprise grade security and compliance frameworks, but today I'm here for one reason. It's that realtors are being held responsible for cyber incidents in a way that are new, aggressive, and legally dangerous. So you might be thinking, well, why? What's going on? Well, regulators, attorneys, insurance carriers, they're tightening the screws. Wire fraud is exploding. And the hard truth is realtors are now expected to know cybersecurity basics even if nobody trained you. That's what's happening. Compliance, FTC, all these things are tightening, tightening, tightening. And if the whole thing I didn't know doesn't work anymore. We have that responsibility to know what's going on and make sure that we have the proper strategies and compliance and tools and everything tactics in place to protect ourselves and protect our clients. So right now, this is the different duties, the different things that are very, very important, and most small businesses and most realtors, they get surprised. You're expected to know and that you need to protect clients' information. You need to warn them of all risk like wire fraud. Follow your brokerage's cyber policies and document everything. Because if something goes wrong, lawyers ask one question: can you prove that you followed best practices? So that's, the reality. And most businesses that we've talked to, unfortunately, they don't. And that's why we're doing these webinars to continue to educate and show everybody what is going on and how they can, not be a a statistic. This is Imagine this. Imagine waking up, right? One day you're getting ready for your closing, and a client wired almost $500,000 for a closing. And then the hacker intercepted the email chain and changed the wiring instructions. That money just vanished. The brokers turned to their cyber insurance company for help. They explained to them what happened. The insurance carrier denied the claim. Not because the agent was bad, not because they didn't care, but because of one single inbox that didn't have MFA, multi-factor authentication, turned on. Remember, forensics doesn't lie, and insurance companies, as we're going to talk about, they take a long time before they actually pay out. Why? Because they're trying to find reasons of not to pay. They want to find reasons of who they can put the blame onto where they won't have to pay. Remember, insurance policies are written by attorneys for attorneys, and then the bold print sells it and the fine print takes it away. So if you didn't have all the things properly and the evidence to prove it, like this case, this is a real case of something that happened, you end up having to pay and out of your pocket. And that's why with what we're with Cork, and we're about to bring up Francis Jones, who is an executive for the company. He is going to go into much more detail of the importance of this and the gap that exist at this moment with cyber insurance. So, Francis, I can bring you on at this moment and let you introduce yourself. Go ahead, and then I will. Okay, here you go, Francis. Oops.
All right. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for the introduction. Yeah, like Dennis said, my name's Francis Jones. I've been working with MSPs and a lot of end users on financial protection for about a year and a half now. So, seen a lot of different cases, seen a lot of different size of end customers or MSPs, get hit with some of these examples on the screen here. So one of the main things that, we look at whenever it comes to financial protection and cyber insurance or cyber warranties is denials, costs, and the process or duration. So about 40% of SMBs are actually having their claims denied, and that's due to lack of security protocols. And about 47% of larger organizations are actually having those denied as well, but more on the human error side of things, which we'll get into a little bit more here later. But then we also look at the costs. So about 79% of respondents are seeing an increase in their premiums, and 67% are experiencing anywhere from 50 to 100% in those raises. So we're seeing cyber insurance get, a lot more expensive, especially for the SMB market. And that's a lot of where this cyber warranty will fit in with a good bit of end customers, and especially in the, real estate realm. Another thing that we're seeing is that, a lot of the processes are pretty long with cyber insurance. So not only is it obtaining policies, but then also if something were to happen, it's taken anywhere from 6 to 9 months for those policies to pay out. So we've kind of positioned ourselves as, kind of like the AFLAC, or, even a main type of financial blanket, because we're the type of coverage that's, we're going to help you as soon as that happens, as soon as you need that money. Within those first 2 weeks, we're going to pay out. And we actually have some examples I'll go over as well.
Perfect. Thank you for that, Francis. And just guys, think about it. Imagine you're paying for a policy for who knows how long, and then when you actually need them, 40% of the people, they don't get paid. And if they don't get paid, we're not talking about like your TV and you need to go buy a little $500 new TV. We're talking about some serious money and liability that comes with it. So this is the importance of why we're talking about this. Um,
Mhm.
this right here, Francis, was pretty impressive. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, this is always an example we use. So a lot of you probably don't know, but not only do we do the warranty side, but we also help out the MSP as well, making sure that they have full visibility into, all the tools that, you guys are consuming today to make sure you are in, the most secure position possible. And this is a big example of, cyber insurance wouldn't cover $5 million for the city of Hamilton, and it's because not all the departments use MFA.
Yeah.
And this is one of the ways that, we kind of look at a cyber warranty. Obviously it's not going up to the $5 million mark, but on the platform side, this is a lot of the visibility that your MSP is getting. And they're able to see who has MFA turned off, which departments have it, who should have it that doesn't, so that if you do have a cyber insurance policy, this won't be the situation for you. Uh, but also, just an outlook on, like Dennis mentioned earlier, a lot of the forensics that cyber insurance goes through, they're really their main point is, obviously to not pay out. That's it's kind of their business model. So they're looking for a reason not to pay out. On the warranty side, we're looking to put our money where our mouth is. We're looking to pay out because, we're really focused towards SMBs, and we know that, if an SMB gets hit, about 80% of the time they normally go out of business. So that's something we're looking to stop.
Wow. Thank you for that. Yeah, I knew it was 60%, but you're saying 80%. That's it.
Hmm.
I mean, the stats I have were a little outdated, and I believe that because these are big numbers that we're talking about. And something as simple as MFA, and one of the things that I hear about, it's people say like, oh, that's so inconvenient. It's such a like a pain that you have to do an extra step or two steps. Guys, who cares? This is what's gonna the common theme here is not having multi-factor authentication, something so basic where you have to get either a text message or use an app to get into whatever. That's something that's so easy. It's just getting a habit going. But it look at all the protection that you can, I mean, miss out on by not having a basic thing. So, and I'm talking to you guys as the brokers because you guys have all these agents, and I'm running into companies that they're like, oh, my agents don't want to do this, my employees, that it's like, wait, who's the owner here? Who's responsible? Is it the agents, or is you the business owner, the broker, the actual broker is responsible for all your agents, and you can't allow them to, if they don't want to do that stuff, I'm sorry. What's more important, your livelihood and your business, or allowing them to go find another brokerage to bring that risk to them? So
Mhm.
let's move on right here. Um,
Exactly.
or we do it
Yeah.
like this.
So yeah, here we'll get into, what even is a cyber warranty? What's the difference? The one way we always like to explain it, just because it is a little bit of a simpler way, is it's like a car insurance versus a car warranty. Car insurance is going to be great if you have an accident, your car is stolen, something of those sorts. Whereas the warranty, we're looking to more prevent these things from happening in the first place. But then if they do, we're remediating it, as soon as it happens, we're on site, making sure that everything's taken care of. But yeah, we're more on the prevention. And another way is, if you have an incident in your cyber landscape or your data stolen, that's something cyber insurance is going to want to get involved. Where once again, on the warranty piece, it's more prevention and remediation right up front.
Excellent. Yeah, and it's important to have both,
Mhm,
because of like these things, the preventative side, because so good.
mhm, mhm. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead if you want to talk about this a little bit.
Yeah, I was just going to go into, a little bit of exactly, what we're doing on the MSP side a little bit. So, you guys probably aren't super familiar, but the way we're helping Mosher out in a large portion with the security stack and making sure that, you guys don't have any gaps within, what you're consuming today is through the platform that we mentioned. So, it's giving access to, real-time risk insights. So, if like Dennis mentioned, if somebody gets tired of doing MFA and for whatever reason they turn it off, we're going to let them know that it's turned off as soon as that happens, so that if something were to happen, you guys, you're going to be taken care of. uh, but overall, we're just helping MSPs to safeguard their clients and make sure that they have confidence that if something were to happen, everything's going to be taken care of.
Yes, exactly. So Cork is like another set of eyes and ears on all of our clients, most of those clients, because they work directly with MSPs, which are managed service providers, like we are, most of them. So they let us know, hey, XYZ's company, this user's multi-factor is turned off. And not why do they do that? Because they want to help protect and not have to, have these issues, and then they notify us, and then we notify XYZ company saying, hey, did you know that this, or we put in the policies not to allow them to turn it off or anything like that. But it's another very, very important layer of oversight of everything that we're doing to properly protect your business. So this is a premium really service that I mean, I've talked to other companies and they don't even use this, and it's like, how could you not use something as valuable as this? So we're very proud to be one of the partners with Cork. So there we go.
Mhm. Yeah. And here's another way that we're also helping out on the platform and actually on the insurance side. So we do have a partnership with DataStream. So they work with around 50 different brokers on the back end. But the great part about this is that, if you guys have ever gotten a cyber insurance policy, I'm sure you've had to fill out, the long questionnaires, and a lot of it, you don't really understand because you're not super technical. And they're asking you, do you have these 20 tools? And you're like, well, I don't know. So we went and fixed that problem to where through our partnership and through your MSP, Data Stream is actually going to be able to see what you guys consume as far as the tools go. And based on that, they're going to be able to fill out about 80% of that technical questionnaire so that you guys are no longer sitting there questioning yourself or maybe answering the questionnaires wrong. And this is all in the platform today. You could actually get an instant insurance quote and, see what the ranges are, but that's all through our partnership with DataStream.
Yeah, that's great. And I wanted to take this time to talk about a story that it was at the end of last year where there was a personal injury firm out of New York that they got cyber insurance through travelers, right? They did the application, if they had the policy, everything was going great until they had an attack. They called the insurance, say, hey, we need you to, help us. The insurance stepped in, they did everything they did. They did their forensics. They come to find out that the personal injury attorney firms, they lied on, well, they misrepresented on their
Mhm,
application. So as like Francis said, it was a long application. And a lot of times people just Christmas trees and yes, I this that yeah I got it or yeah whatever. But when the forensics comes in and determined that it wasn't what they put on our application, not only did they deny the claim, they turned around and sued the law firm for fraud.
mhm.
And you can read about this right now in the news and stuff. So this is like the reality of where we're at, guys. So this is very, very important. And these are the things that the tools that we have at our disposals when you work with us, and we can help, prevent these things.
Yeah. And one more thing that I would just add on the insurance piece as well is we did add a cyber insurance analyzer to the platform. I know I had ran Dennis through it as well. But if you guys, if you have policies and you're not sure if it's any good, you're not sure what's covered in that, we actually came out with a feature to where if you just send it on over to him, he'll be able to plug it into our platform and it'll actually just give you a nice little two-pager instead of, the 20 pages that they give you, running you through any type of risk factors and what the sublimits look like as well so that you can have a better idea.
Excellent. Yeah, because those
Mhm,
things it's hard to understand. And this is a new, it's not like your car insurance you've had for 30 years and you know about it. This is a new type of thing that has a lot of technical jargon. And then if you don't understand, then then it's one of those things you don't want to find out when it's too late.
mhm. Yeah,
uh,
exactly. Exactly. And just to give everyone an idea of the some of the packages that we offer on the warranty piece. So we have a Protect 100, that's $100,000 of coverage. This is where you're going to see, a big difference within, the cyber insurance and warranty world is a lot of cyber insurance policies typically don't pay out on any type of human error because I mean, it is pretty risky. You're banking on people to make the right decisions. But in the warranty world, we're paying out on things like that. So your SMS and email gift card scams, wire transfer fraud. I know wire transfer fraud's been our biggest one. Especially, dealing with real estate and customers, there's a lot of money being transferred around. And what happens if, you send it to one wrong person? How much are you out? Do you have that on hand?
yeah.
And another piece to add is if you do have a current cyber insurance policy, we'll actually cover the deductible if anything were to happen. So not only are we going to cover that, but this is also a piece where you could go back and talk to your cyber insurance agent and see if you could actually raise your deductible up as far as it'll go. Because in turn, that's actually going to bring down your premium. And if anything were to happen, we'll pay out the deductible anyway, so you're not held for it. And
That's
the
good insight. Thank you for that.
Mhm.
Just that makes sense. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. And another great way that this is helping is a lot of, like I mentioned earlier, small businesses, if they get hit, it's tough because not only do you have to think about the business impact of, you actually lost the money, but you also have to think about paying your employees, keeping the lights on, paying rent, all the things that you typically wouldn't think about whenever you're dealing with cyber. But depending on how long forensics takes and all that sort of stuff and get back up and running, you could take a big hit. So what we do there is we actually give you an instant fund access. So on the Protect 100, that's a $5,000 virtual credit card as soon as you submit the claim. And then on the Protect 500, it's actually $10,000. But you could probably see on the two different packages there is a little bit of difference. So on Protect 500, we're covering things like the incident response, business interruption loss, data recovery, and then we're also covering ransom payment. So that bleeds a little bit into the, cyber insurance world, but the reason we're doing that is for the small businesses that maybe don't qualify or can't afford cyber insurance. This is a way that, they could get some sort of financial blanket and they will be covered, just not up to the $1 million range or the higher amounts.
Yeah, that's great because, like you said, some of these policies they're not cheap, and if you don't can't, this is all new to you and you can't afford it all. Well, at least this is something that's very powerful and it's not a large investment. When we talk,
Mhm.
guys, and I show you, everything we include in these packages, it's designed to be a no-brainer. You
Mhm.
know, so perfect. There
Mhm.
you go.
Yeah. And then we have a couple different payout examples. So here we could see one of our partners, they are Birmingham Consulting. So they actually, use our platform, pretty in detail, I would say. And what actually happened with them is they had a law office that specializes in real estate law. They had a phishing attack through email. So, exposed a good bit of their data. And with a law office, that's going to be about tens of thousands of, sensitive client data. And then within 25 minutes, they had, went in, did their job, locked everything up, secured the environment. And within, 2 weeks, we were actually able to pay out the full amount that the phishing email got them for and paid on all of the instant response fees as well. So that they ended up not coming out of pocket and ultimately, learned from the mistake. One of the cool things that our CEO always likes to mention, and I'll mention as well. Um, what we actually do, and especially for this example, we did it. So obviously, something like this happens to your business, you're feeling pretty down about it, especially if you're one of the employees. So what we do is we'll actually pay for, either lunch or buy whoever did it, some sort of present. So it's, you know, you screwed up a little bit, but here you go. Don't feel too bad about it. We got you covered.
That's nice. That's good.
And then yeah, here's another example. We had it was a construction company. So you could look at their security stack, they had, the best tools offered to them. They were all covered, all wrapped up. They actually got a phishing email from a fake vendor. So it was a wood vendor had reached out to them, said, "Hey, for the rest of this project, we're actually going to need you to send all the money to this routing number, just changed by one number." Obviously the finance department within the construction company didn't call and confirm. They ended up sending over $21,000 within the next 2 months. The wood vendor, the actual vendor, comes to them and says, "Hey, you guys you're pretty good with invoices, paying bills on time. Like, what's going on?" And that was kind of their moment. They're like, "Oh man." So they went in, submitted the claim. Within 2 weeks, we had paid out the full 21,000 that they'd lost.
Wow. Wow.
Hmm.
That's that's great. All
Yeah.
right, guys. Well, Francis, this has been very, very insightful, very valuable. We are, very excited that we're partners with you, and our goals continue to any of our clients that we work with that we include, your, Cork into every client. This is something that's, like I said, I feel it's a no-brainer. It's not that much of a huge investment to be able to have this type of protection and this type of peace of mind. So, and especially as a realtor, this helps protect the most important things, your license, your clients, money, and it actually can set you apart from when you're trying to get new clients. Say, hey, we have these policies in place. We have this type of cybersecurity. We have these things. Does your other agent that you're considering have these things? Hmm. If not, most smart people are going to realize, hey, would I rather go with somebody who's not even talking about cybersecurity or compliance or warranties or any of that stuff, or somebody who is disclosing it and sharing this stuff to me. It doesn't cost them, that person, anything additional. They still got to pay the commission on, selling the property, but just to know that my back end is protected by working with a realtor or brokerage firm that is talking about this and is proactive in this. I think that's a huge selling point. And what I'm realizing, most real estate industries don't aren't aware of it. So this is something that for 2026 that I think is going to be extremely powerful. And then the last thing, well, Francis, I don't know if I know your time. If you want to disconnect, you're more than welcome to disconnect. I really appreciate your time. Everything you shared with was extremely valuable. And I will talk to you later on, my friend. Thank you.
All right, awesome. Sounds great. Bye.
Okay, guys. So we're very fortunate to have him. He's extremely busy and he did us a big favor coming in and joining us for this. So on So pretty much just to wrap up the differences between cyber insurance and cyber warranty, because cyber warranty is very new to this industry. It's now a thing that's been around for a long time, right? But the purpose and the reasoning behind it is very self-explanatory. But one of the main things is the fast payouts. Like you said, within 24 hours, they can give you a Visa gift card for $10,000 that you can go ahead and use quickly if you need to do something versus insurance, they drag their feet. They want to send in, they're not giving a penny away until they know who's liable, who's responsible, whose fault is all this stuff. So the payout could be months of time before you get anything. And then you, Mr. Business Owner, Mr. Broker, are on the hook having to scramble and trying to get everything, taken care of. Right, the whole process is very long. They send in their forensics, so with through the warranty, there's no forensics. Why? So when we work with them, they connect and see everything that our clients have in place. So they're connected to our tools, like our tools stack connects with them. So they're able to see everything that's going on in real time. And if something happens, they immediately, the red light comes on, they notify us, and then we go ahead and fix it. So it's not like, oh, I don't know, Johnny's computer MFA turned off and we didn't know about it for 2 months on the road. No, this is immediately because they're connected and monitoring everything that we're doing with our clients. And that's the power behind everything that we're doing with them, guys. So this is, like I said, this is very next level. And that's our goal is, for 2026, is to help prevent all these things, guys. This is very, important. This is where everything comes together. Regulators, they're demanding proof, that you guys have wire protocols, the vendor verification like we talked about, the training, everything's documented. So, the agents who are adopting these things are going to be closing many more deals. That's something that we're seeing because now cybersecurity and compliance, all these things, and then the the consequences. I was talking to another client that where the person's father-in-law, just hear the story, it's so sad. The father-in-law, gentleman in the late 80s, um, senior, and he got about $70,000 wiped out of his bank account. And just to know that you're at that age and you have your money and you're kind of like self-sufficient, you're not, nobody, you have your money to help you out, take care of you and everything like that. And then just a hacker to wipe you out like that. And now you have to go and ask your kids for help. That is, it's just heartbreaking. And this is what's happening. This is the world. So now many people are conscious of this. It's not like a secret. It's like, wow, cybersecurity, I need to protect myself. I need to be careful. So if us business owners and us agents, real estate, all that stuff, we start showcasing that we care about this, that we are doing all these things right, more people are going to want to work with somebody who talks about it for somebody who doesn't. So that's what we're going to be talking about in next week's session is about preparing yourself for 2026. And as always, this is an extremely valuable um, gift that the Suncoast Real Estate Association is giving to all of its members, and we highly, highly recommend you take advantage of this because 90% of the hacks all come in through an email. An email came in, you clicked on it. Well, what the penetration test does, it uncovers those weak spots before real attackers do and regulators. This is simulates like you or one of your agents clicked on a link and the hacker got in. What can they find? These tests alone, if you Google average cost of a cyber penetration test, easily $4,000 to $5,000 and up. We're doing it for the star members complimentary because our goal is that we want to help and educate and show people. So as we can show you all your vulnerabilities, then we have the proper tools to be able to and strategies to help protect all these things. So that is something that we're, that we are offering to the star members, and it's on a limited time basis. So so we encourage you to definitely book your appointment with us because smart businesses, smart defense. And that's the main thing is right now is that you want to make sure that you know what's going on, that you're not cut off guard, that you're not analyzing and somebody pulls the rug out underneath you because you didn't know. Knowledge is power, and that's what we're most of those focus on is being able to give everyone the most important information to protect your business and your babies. And remember, your business is your baby, and that's how I consider it. So again, Dennis Patino, I'll leave this up for a little bit longer. The CEO for most of Cybersecurity, and we're very, very excited. We're about to, finishing off the this 2025. We've seen a lot of things. I highly encourage everyone before next week's session to go back and look at all of the webinars we've done because we've gone through very, very important topics from, Wi-Fi sharing, access at Starbucks. On encryption, using Gmails, cyber warranty, the AI compliance, just using these tools that you don't know about. So this is valuable, valuable information that many people have to pay a lot of money to get this information. So we're doing it just to properly educate and protect our community. So again, guys, thank you for everything. We're very excited to be a part of this association and continue to grow with everyone. Thanks. Bye for now.